Alrighty, so we're going to talk about the structure of sacromeres and sliding filament theory. Let's start with the structure. We have a sacromere, and a bundle of sacromeres makes up myofibril, and a bundle of myofibril makes up a muscle. So here we are working with our little base component of muscles. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this. Let's zoom in right here. We have a couple of pretty basic structures involved. We have actin filaments, those are thin. We have myosin filaments, those are a little bit thicker. We're working with two main bands here. We've got our A band, which is the length of the myosin filament. The A band is also called the dark band sometimes because the myosin filament is thick, so not much light gets through. We've got the other filament here, or the other band here called the I band, which is just the actin filament, and that's also called the light band because the actin filament is thinner, light can get through. So we got our A band, I band, dark band, light band, myosin, actin. Two kinds of filaments, two kinds of bands. All right, we've also got Z lines. These are the bookends that determine, the length of one sacromere. All right, so from Z line to Z line, that's one sacromere. Okay, and then we've also got an M line in the middle here, and that's what holds it all together. That's the glue keeping this thing together. All right, so I think that's a little bit, that's enough about structure, really. Let's toss that to the side there and talk about the rest of what's going on. Let's talk about sliding filament theory real quick. Okay. Here we have an axon terminal, and it's got plenty of good vesicles in it, and those are filled with acetylcholine, all right? And the vesicles are going to be released into the synaptic cleft, where the acetylcholine can be received by receptors in the synapse, which are attached to the sacromere, right there. Okay, so as the acetylcholine is accepted by the synapses receptors that are attached to the sacromere, action potential will be reached eventually. Calcium will be released. So here's some calcium. Let's go back and see what we're looking at. So here we have, here's an actin filament. That little puff ball is the binding site, but it's occupied with this tropomyosin. And here's a myosin head right here, and it's occupied with ATP. So they're both doing their own thing. But when the calcium comes in, it knocks the tropomyosin out of the equation. We have troponin instead, which warms up that binding site, gets it all ready, and simultaneously this ATP on the myosin head is hydrolyzed. We have ADP and phosphorus right here. And when that gets hydrolyzed and the ATP is gone, it cocks back that myosin head. And once it gets back, it attaches to the binding site on the actin filament right there. Okay? Then a new ATP is going to come in, reattach itself to the myosin head, and when it does that, goes back forward, pushes the actin filament with it. Okay? So it's a continuous process of getting pushed back, pushed forward. Goes back, grabs a hold of the actin, pushes it forward. And that sliding of the actin filament is the sliding filament part of our sliding filament theory. We do that a whole lot, eventually, kapat, you get muscle movement. That's about all there is to that.